Hello. I hope you all can hear me. I'm having some technical difficulties. This is the second time I've tried to start this. It didn't look like it was going at first, and then I realized, hello, yeah, I see myself now. Okay, and then I realized that it wasn't going because I was in my little secret group. I have a secret group I built in Facebook where I can actually do these testing and whatnot to make sure that everything is working correctly. And I was just going on about my spiel, and I wasn't getting anything out of anybody, and I thought, oops, what happened? So I'm going to give it just a couple of minutes for people to come on. And as I said, this is a presentation, and my topic today is focus. Is focus important in your life, in your business life and personal life? I found this a very useful subject to talk about because I've come from a background where I'm corporate world where I was always so busy that I didn't know which way I was going sometimes, and it was really hard for me at times to focus. Anyhow, so this is what this presentation is about. Just gonna hold on a bit and see if somebody will, see how many people will jump on. Anyhow, let's see. I hope you all are having a wonderful Sunday. I know that this has been a really, really, really good day for me, and yesterday was exceptionally good. My husband and I actually spent the weekend, or I spent yesterday out adventuring around in our area in this little Jeep, and we had just a great old time. It was such a busy time. I was so exhausted last night, but it was a good kind of exhaustion. It's a kind of exhaustion you get when when you're just when you're having fun, and that's basically what it's about. It's about balance. Life is about balance. Anyhow, I'm going to start with this presentation so that I won't keep people very long. Okay, this presentation, again, as I said, is focus important in your business or personal life. Okay, so what is focus? Okay, focus is a thinking skill that lets people start a task without procrastination. It keeps their attention and effort on the task until the job is complete, avoiding distractions that will impede the work they are trying to do. Focus is integral to accomplish in your business or your personal life. It falls under the same categories as falls under the same category as ambition, motivation, leadership. These are the driving forces behind becoming focused. It should be focused. Apologize about that. Focus cannot be sabotaged when you are in the ability to be productive. In other words, if you have the desire or the big reason why that you want to get something accomplished in your life, a goal, then that focus your focus cannot be sabotaged. I mean, you are like Dad said, it's like bullseye. You're looking at a bullseye, and that's where you're going for. You need to be focused to achieve your goals and to become successful in your endeavors. And that's true. I mean, without focus, you're just not getting anywhere. Incorporating focus into your life is important to getting things done, to the point that you can't really think without focus. Now, I know a lot of people, and like I said earlier before I actually started this presentation, when I get overextended at work, and I come home, and it's really hard for me to focus on my home business. Okay, some of the things that can't be done without focus: learning, reasoning, decision making, problem solving. With a wandering mind, you are less effective with your work or in your work, to the point that the productivity and quality of your work will suffer. Sorry, I'm a little tongue-tied this afternoon. I don't know why. Okay, why do people suffer from lack of focus? It may be a matter of interest or lack of interest in doing things that need to be done just to move ahead. In other words, certain things need to get done to make way for other things that need to be done. Just like one step after another. It's natural for your mind to drift off when you need to get things done, especially if you're exhausted. Maybe you're thinking that, I would rather be doing this. I'd rather be, out going for a walk or whatever the case may be. You will find excuses not to do something. You could say something to yourself like, well, this really doesn't need to be done right now. I can hold it off, or I don't really think it's that important. So why should I do it? These are the things that you tend to think about to get away from doing something. Procrastination. Now, procrastination is the biggest hurdle in attaining a good focus. Procrastination is the granddaddy of all excuses. Procrastination shows that you don't really want to do the task or a task. You want to do it later, do it tomorrow. It's like I tell my husband, I was like, I come from a Hispanic background, and my husband is German mixed with, I don't know what else. Anyhow, he's the one that's always like, mañana, tomorrow, I'll do it tomorrow. When I'm always like, get it done. But, that's his procrastination. He eventually gets it done. In fact, as I'm doing this presentation, he's working on our master bedroom. So if you hear some noises like grinding or something in the background, I promise you I'm not grinding up, we're not grinding up bodies, but we are grinding, he's grinding and getting tile set in the bathroom. And this is a good day for him to do it. And unfortunately, this is the day that I set and the time that I have set to do my webinars when I do them. Okay, how to counteract focus. Address what needs to be done and why it needs to be done. You need to have a clear-cut goal, a grounded purpose towards which all efforts are directed. With this reference points in sight, you can probably, set your skill sets to get your goal. With this critical factor being missed, you get nowhere. If you don't have that clear-cut goal, you're actually kind of like going in circles. Clear-cut goals stop you from going, west when you really should have gone east. It's kind of like the thing I said, because, you could sit here and say, have, like 10 things you want to do, and all of a sudden you get, or like maybe you get like a shiny object syndrome and start looking at something else. And especially when you're working, online, and you're at your computer, a lot of times these things, your notifications pops up like from Facebook, and all of a sudden you start looking at that and you want to go say, oh, what's going on? Let me go check that out. So clear-cut goals paired with a sense of purpose equals dilemma resolved with ease. Okay, if your mind is divided or scattered, oops, I think I missed a slide. Okay, I'm sorry about that. I've also got notes, and I think I got my notes mixed up so that I could make sure I pointed some extra stuff. Let's see here. Okay, well, I'm just going to go by the slides because I cannot find the note that I had for this. Okay. Work by the process of elimination. Filter out the tasks that are time eaters to help you regain your control. In other words, if it's something that can actually be held off till a little bit later on, after you're done with the main object, the biggest object, the biggest project, then go for those little things. Go get those little things out of the way after that. Okay, sense of purpose gives you a good reason to get something done and will help you tune your focus to get the best results out of your efforts. Okay, address when something needs to be done. Prioritize, know when to do, what to do, and when to do what and what needs to be done. Give yourself a time frame to work in, to stay on target, to stay focused. Successful time management lets you control yourself. You accomplish more, perform better, and become more successful if you actually have a time management in place. You allow so much time to do whatever the tasks are that you have for yourself to do during the day. Okay, there are different types of focus. One type of focus is the inner focus. It's the ability to block distractions, the focus on the present moment at task. You know, you stay calm under pressure. You're no mind wandering to other things that need to be done or worked on. So that's what inner focus is. Develop intuitions. You know, it's that gut feeling, and that also helps you when you have the inner focus. It also helps you to make good decisions on your process or your workflow. Allows you to stay focused with your goals and manage your time better. Focusing on others. Okay, this is another type of focus. This is important in workplace situations or teamwork scenarios where your output is affected by others' input. You know, that's sometimes, you know, you could be, say, at a meeting or some kind of situation at work where somebody says something that maybe contradicts your what you had said, and that can kind of let you get off base there. Okay, not only restricted to professional settings, this also applies to personal and social context as well. You know, it's both personally and socially as well as professional. Outer focus, it goes beyond paying attention to other person's demands, paying attention to your surroundings based on peripheral learning, and allows a person to think strategically. You know, of course, you always want to focus. I mean, even if you're at home and if you have small children, even though you are busy working, you always want to be able to pay attention to the fact that things are happening, that the children, you know, the children are there, things are happening. And, you know, sometimes, okay, I haven't been a mother to small children for 20 some odd years, and almost 30 years. And, you know, always keep your ear open for something. And then the biggest fear I always used to have was when there was silence. Okay, silence would mean, uh-oh, you know, something's got to be going on. So of course I'd stop whatever task I was doing. Then I wasn't on any kind of home business, but in general, home caring of the home, whatever it might be. In general, I would stop and go check it out. As you know, it takes just an instant for the little ones to get into something. All right. Burnout. Being overwhelmed, you feel mentally, emotionally, and physically exhausted. You can't keep up with the demands because of inner chaos. Also factors into the equation, and the missing element is focus. The feeling of being overwhelmed can cause loss of interest, lack of motivation, and brings about a state of feeling powerless, helpless, extremely worn out. Burnout is just merely exhaustion. Not only does it affect your performance, but it also affects your life and your health. It can cause you to lose interest in most everything you do. Staying in this condition may make you believe that there's no getting over this mess. In as I said, I'm I'm still in the corporate world, and I'm working my way to getting out of it. But at one point, I was into management, and I was working a lot of 6 hours, sometimes, I mean, 6 days, sometimes 7 days, a good part, at least 10 hours, sometimes 12 hours, depending on what was going on at the time, building a system, whatever the case may be. Anyhow, I got to the point where I was burned out. I mean, all I could do is come home, go to sleep. I mean, there wasn't really much I could do. The weekends when my husband wanted, us to do things, the only thing I wanted to do was just lay down and sleep. I didn't want to do anything else. That's not a good situation to be in. Well, that part of that situation has changed for me. I don't have the management. I stepped down gracefully, and no, I shouldn't say God. Thankfully, I stepped down. I probably would have been a total wreck if I hadn't at this point. But I backed out of the management ship, and I am now what you call a worker bee, which I enjoy much better. Okay, how to get out of this rut? Turn your attention focus on the task at hand. Write down your tasks. Write it in a notepad that maybe the evening before, write down on a notepad things that you want to get done or need to get done the next day. And then upon the completion of whatever task that you've completed the following day, mark through it. It gives you a sense of ease, and it makes you feel accomplished when you do things like that. Use the what, when, or what, why, and when formula when you're feeling overwhelmed. Okay? Focus on what is important. That's the what. Why is it important, and when to deal with it. Once you can answer the what, why, and when, you can start to untangle that web of feeling overwhelmed. It may be impossible to identify burnout yourself. When you're feeling distressed, seek out help from others, like your friends and family. They may be able to identify these reasons why you are burnt out, where you can't. You may just be thinking, like in the situation I'm just tired, though my husband could see deeper than that, and some of my close friends could too. Focus and work on some of the following. Cut off the sources of burnout. Job-related, too much work or too many hours at work and not enough free time. Though this is difficult when you are in the corporate world, it is important that you take a day to enjoy life with your loved ones. Prioritize your weekend chores. If you have weekend chores, and you have children, get the kids to help you. You might discover that working together not only gets the job done, but it also brings more closeness, more family closeness. The kids aren't out there just playing video games or watching TV. You're not just sitting there exhausted, and your wife or your spouse is just not feeling neglected. Just take some time. I mean, even if it's just a half a day, just take some time to be with them. Okay, be healthy. Engage in some sort of physical activity. This can help shift your focus of burnout and redirect your focus on your health. At least, look at least a 20-minute minutes a day of a moderate to an intense exercise. Make family time into an active, fun time. Go hiking, play ball, dance together. Dancing really used to make me really feel good. I don't dance as much as I used to, but it really made me feel good. So that, something, think about that. Share it with the family. They love that. Eat well. Don't reach for those foods that make you feel bad, like junk food. Avoid complex carbohydrates such as refined sugar, refined flour, processed foods that make you feel heavy. Get away from those foods, because all they do is they're going to add to your feeling bad or feeling exhausted, they just don't give you that energy. You know, eat what makes you feel better from the inside out. You know, go towards your more plant-based, fresher foods, fresh fruits, fresh vegetables, leaner cuts of meat. If you're you know, meat eater, I myself am not. Stay away. Now, this is my biggest this is my biggest downfall, is the breads and the pastas. That's my biggest downfall. You know, I love it when I walk into Safeway. That's one of our local grocery stores, Safeway, and around 4 o'clock, and you know, they're just pulling out the fresh French bread out of the oven, and you can smell it, and it's like, that's my downfall. I try to stay away from the store around that time of day because of that, because I mean, it was nothing for me to that French bread, and even before I even this is awful, even before I even paid for the thing, it was still in the basket, and while I was actually doing all my other shopping, I had torn a piece of that and I was eating it. so it's like halfway gone, almost. But it wouldn't only be me. My husband would be with me too. It'd be almost halfway gone when we were paying for it at the checkout. But I you know, I guess that's not something unusual because they never said anything to us. Anyway, so sleep. Get good quality and proper quantity of sleep. You know, set a time limit on how late you're going to, you know, you will go to bed. Allow yourself to go to bed. Like, you know, set a time limit, say 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock. You know, I suggest take a half an hour or so with no stimulating noise, you know, turn off that TV, you know, no internet, don't get on that Facebook. You know, I'm pretty bad about that. I want to make sure I communicate with people before I go to bed. But, you know, but a lot of times I don't have problems sleeping anymore. And I think the biggest thing is I don't have that stress that I did like I used to. But, you know, get away from all that. You know, do something like listen to some relaxing music, some ocean. I love the sound of the ocean. You know, some drumming, some flute music. My husband plays a Native American flute. He's novice at it, but anytime he puts on his flute music, regardless, you know, of where I'm at, I start feeling my eyelids get heavy. So, you know, that's a good thing. Good things to look at doing to help you relax. Stay away from that TV. I mean, we have a TV in our bedroom, and I always tell my husband, you know, you're limited to 30 minutes on that TV. After that, that's it, because I like to just be able to have my mind calm down. And though sometimes, you know, he may have that TV on and I may be out like a light shortly after. Okay, here's some red flags that can identify common habits of unfocused people. They don't plan. They work on a whim rather than by strategy. They lose track of time, running short on time, or always running late on most of their tasks. Not only do they mismanage time, but also, you know, people that are unfocused exhibit unrealistic ideas about their time. Like they don't realize how long it might take to get from, let's say for instance, from here to Las Vegas. They want to go to a function that it is, okay, right now it's 4:30 in the afternoon. Right now we're on the same time as Las Vegas. So it's 4:30 in the afternoon. This function starts at 6 o'clock. Well, you have to factor in an hour to an hour and 15 minutes to get to Las Vegas, let alone go through Las Vegas wherever this function is. So, you know, you have to be able to do that, to allow or to know how long it's going to take you to get from point A to point B. You know, that's another thing that's of a person that's not focused has the habit of doing. They also have a habit of starting a new project without finishing old ones. Well, I've done that. Believe me, I've done that. And to be truthful, I still have projects that I have not finished as of yet. They're set aside. I have a project that I was working on since I married my husband. But then other things came up, and I never went back to it. And I remember it's actually a hook. I don't know if a lot of you remember these hook latch rug. And when I pulled it out one time a while back, and I was working on it, he said to me, he goes, I'm kind of worried if you finish that will have no reason to be with me. Why he said that, I don't know, but I guess I've been working on it for such a long time. It's, something that he had in the back of his mind. Her working on it equals us staying together. Makes absolutely no sense to me. He's a wonderful man. There would be no reason in the world I would do that. Easily distracted. That shiny object syndrome, if you're not focused, when you switch from one activity to the next, there's that lag time in between. This void, it's pretty easy for this void to be filled with distractions such as your cell phone, getting on the internet, checking out, what's going on in Facebook land, those things, or watching TV, those things, during that switch from one activity to another, it can be, I don't want to say dangerous, but it can be a place where you can actually find yourself plummeting down and not getting anything achieved. And also, people that are unfocused tend to worry about everything. They get agitated at the small things. So, in closing, I just want to say, if you feel distress and you're not being able to concentrate or finish your projects, if you feel hopeless, ask for help, or ask, your loved ones, have you noticed, is there something that you're seeing in me? Because, like I said earlier, sometimes other people can see in you what you don't see in yourself. Anyway, I hope you all found this helpful and informative, and I am going to call it an evening. And as always, I would like to wish you all a very blessed day, and may you walk in peace. Until next week or sometime this week, I will back up just a little bit. I will be doing an interview tomorrow at 9:30 Pacific Standard Time, and I hope that you can join me. And as for now, I want to